I'm going to strip some of this wire here. I was squeaking really crazy, so I put oil in it, so it kind of it was a little sticky. The rollers are kind of acting a little bit weird, but anyways. It's doing this wire pretty good, actually. The problem is this wire frays so easy. You know, it just kind of falls apart. Crappy wire. Copper being so expensive, you know. Well, I heard, I was talking to Cruiser Mac from YouTube. If you haven't seen his channel yet, check him out, Cruiser Mac. He's actually in the Okanagan, which is kind of a nice place to camp. This one kind of was a little bit lousy, but anyways, he said he heard that copper might go up to 9,500 a ton. So I mean, wow, prices keep going higher, but seems to be a big demand for copper and brass. So we'll see. To me, I don't care. I usually sell at market price. You know, if it's anywhere over $3 is good. It's been over $4 now, so it's even better, right? So, you know, so I kind of screwed up this wire because what happened was I went too deep and it killed the, you know, the third jacket, right? Went into the second jackets and they kind of wrecked it. So that's kind of how this wire is. It's just a crappy wire. That's why the scrap yards don't pay much. You know, they don't pay a lot for this stuff. They actually pay, they undervalue this, to be honest, in my yard. They used to pay really, really good. But because, as you can see, it just, some known slivers come off it. I got gloves here from Stuart out of the UK. Thanks, Stuart. I'm just trying to break them in there. I was kind of going slow on them, but this one didn't go through. So these are supposed to like cut resistant type gloves. Haven't had a sliver yet, so that's a good sign. Usually leather gloves, it just goes through instantly. So I'm trying to test these. That's why I kind of held back on these gloves just for this purpose here. Usually the sliver. Usually I get, you know, 4 or 5 slivers, bad ones, every time I do a bucket of copper. You just get it pricks your hand, basically, because not really goes slivers. It just pricks your hand, goes right through the glove. So far so good. There's another one got gimped up, but it's kind of how the way it goes. The machine was real squeaky sounding, so I kind of lubricated a bit. It helped a bit. Then the noise came back, and then this was vibrating like bang like this. So I put a little piece of copper to keep the rattle away, because the rattle was so loud. So I didn't videotape nothing. It was just too noisy. Like I say, key thing is, you know, like today's a holiday, so I can't really do much noise outside. So I kind of figured I'll do a little bit of wire for now. I want to organize the yard because I need to do different things there. I want to store the scrap metal like the fridges and appliances where my other bin is, and kind of use that as my staging area and keep that whole back here clear. Mostly clear anyways, right? And I was watching, if you ever watch E-Waste Dylan, he's a pretty young kid there out of somewhere back east in the United States, and he's very organized. I was watching one of the last videos he did. Everything was organized in bins, like really good. So kind of like that concept, right? But you know, so until I get my mess cleaned, then I can start doing that. But when you trip it over a mess steady, very hard to do that, right? Until I get everything clean and be on top of my stripping, then I can do that, right? But when you got stuff all over your yard, mixed up, it's kind of hard to do that, right? You need one clear area, which I'm starting to already do that. Starting to thin out all the crap in the yard. And prices are high right now, so you have to sell. You know, prices could drop and they could stay down for a while, right? The price is being high, might as well dump it, right? Yeah, no slivers so far, really good. Gloves are working actually pretty good. But I put a little bit of oil on the rollers. I'm trying to, I don't know, I use WD-40, but I don't have any real oil. And the things I did the bottom, there's a mortar there, a really nice big mortar. But there's really nothing there, no grease points, nothing. So, you know, maybe I'll have to take off one day that cover and double check. Maybe there's some grease nipples or something there. Who knows? But it's just squeaking noises, right? Which kind of is pretty noisy. But if you ever watch another guy on YouTube, Project Shop FI, like Project Shop Florida, FI. That guy, he's a master on stripping wire. If you watch what he does, he's constantly feeding wire in there. There's tangles everywhere, and it's just like I can't do what he's doing because he has clutches where if it tangles up, he can release a clutch and it release the tension on his stripper. But on mine, it just goes all everywhere. Would just drag my leg into there, like. But anyways, he has a pretty good setup there. Ever seen his channel? Check it out. Project Shop FI. But anyways, like I say, it's definitely a labor of love, the stuff, right? See, look how much waste. You can't do this in your living room, for one thing. You know, like look at all the little slivers that come off this. The wife would kick you out of the house, right? If you know what I mean. But I have cats and stuff, so you know, and dogs and stuff. You can't take a chance. That's why I have to sweep up after because my cat gets in here sometimes and he likes rolling in dirt. So you'd have slivers on him and you never know, right? So I say. That's why I use this catch basin here for the slivers. Otherwise, they'd be all over. And later on, like I say, I'll sweep the floor completely. See? It's like the wires aren't even attached. They're just little shorts that are all intertwined. Not a steady piece of wire, like, or a single piece of wire. I have to figure which ones are rejected here. I'll try to run through it again. If not, I have to sell it the way it is. The trick is not to damage. You know, when you have three of these in here, if the outside one goes into the the inner layers, and it cuts here, it cuts there. You know how it is if you have a machine. You probably don't realize, but if you're running those Asian ones, the cheap ones that are just single rollers, well, even that one will work too. If you cut too deep, you're just gonna, wreck this one too, right? It doesn't really matter. It's whatever it is. It's that inner jacket, right? We're talking about dryer cords. We're not talking about like house wiring and stuff. House wiring is never a problem. This one I'll try to run again later. skipped here. But it could be because when I sprayed oil, it would start slipping and it was going off. It went off rail and stuff. But I'm just trying to get rid of that squeak, and I'm not sure where it's come from. It's come from the top end somewhere in this corner, I'm thinking, but I can't pin it down. Basically, it's just so loud. I mean, it toned down a little bit since I've been working here, but it definitely was still there. So we get to this point here. See all these slivers? Say you can't do it in your house. Some guys like to do it in their kitchen or something, or watching TV, but not this type of stuff. Oh, I felt one sliver. Did get one sliver. Okay, let's see how noisy it's going to be. I don't need that there right now. It's noisy here. Okay, see what happens. But anybody who strips this wire, you ask them, it's definitely a pain to do this type of wire. Dry cords. I guess it's not sure what it is, if it's low grade copper or what it is, but anyways, that's how it is. See, I don't mind, like the last one, I had to really yank it. If it goes too deep, it comes off really easy, but then it cuts these parts and it gives it more problems. So I'd rather yank a little more and have it go freely through. Stuff is all kind of different colors. Some of the stuff, like some of it's really bright, some of it's dull looking. So it could be just a poor quality wire maybe or something. I'm not sure. You call it like horsehair or stuff. The scrapper calls it. Any event, still number 2. Instead of selling it for, last time it was like $1.34. It's kind of cheap, but it might be a little more now because copper's higher. But for some reason, when copper was like over $4, it's still really low. This for Romex, like house wire, they were paying I don't know, like $1.72 or something. No, two something actually. They're paying quite a bit for it. $2.32 I think they were paying last time. That's why it's not worth stripping that stuff. In my yard anyways, because they pay really good. Other yards they pay you little, so depends on your yard. You know, some big yards they don't know the percentages. If they want to make 15% on what they do, it depends how they're set up, right? They might have their own granulators, and you know, they process everything in house maybe, but not locally. But maybe they take it to warehouses that they own. You know, and it could be the States, could be anywhere, right? The yard I deal with, everything goes down to the States. But just because it goes to the States doesn't mean it's, you know, it still goes to their plants. They still manufacture it and clean it and strip it, and like here, garbage disposal is so expensive here. That's why they got rid of the shredder, because no one will take their material, because the material's got the fine grinds, right? In the States, you could dump garbage fairly cheap. Here I dumped a small, you saw my van the other day, was very little garbage, is $161 with 5% tax. I mean, that's a lot of money. So that's what I'm saying. It's pretty expensive. See? Another big batch of crap. See that? See that? But it's still getting copper at the end. Okay, I'm gonna keep moving at this. You know, I can feel some weight already here, actually. Gotta love it. Oh, they dented my can. My favorite can. Okay. I'll keep moving, get as much as I can done. Okay. Okay, I was stripping wire. You know, I still have more here, but some of this wire just strips so nice. It's all about the setting, right? You get the right setting and it's the right wire. It goes so nice. I kind of figured out the setting now. Green is for the little thinner one, a little bit thicker. I go red, and it seems to work pretty good. These things, like, also, I'll use the red for this little bit thinner, and the blue for the little bit thicker. This stuff seems to work pretty good too. You know, I'm actually quite happy. It's working actually really good. And like I say, you know, the machine, for some reason, when you first use it, they kind of act finicky, and then all of a sudden, when they kind of warm up and they work nicer. I mean, it's a little squeaky, but that's what it's going to be, right? So I'd rather just peel this here and talk a little bit versus hearing all that noise for you guys. But some of you guys may like it, right? Beautiful. That's what I say. Dryers. I get so many dryers and stoves. I mean, you know, I had about 140 pounds of this stuff last time I sold, but I'm thinking, you know, I should have. You know, it would probably take me about 4 hours to do the 140 pounds. Like, I've only been working here for about maybe 15, 20 minutes at the most. And look how much I got already. It's working really good. Like I say, if the wire jams or cuts too deep, and then it cuts the next one, and then sometimes it derails. That's what's happening. But so, like I say, I like to organize the yard where I can have multiple buckets. I'm not going to leave anything good outside. I don't mind a little bit of aluminum or something, but any bitter metals, you know, I always keep it secured to be safe, right? I mean, I do have my renters are watching all the time. They're always there. Every time I bang around making noise, they make sure it's me. They check my car. They watch the property all the time. But like I say, I can organize a little bit better, which is starting to. I'm gonna have to go through a lot of those pails, because I have pails that got wet and everything got rusty. And you know, when it's rusty like that, it's kind of like, it's like crap after. Even motherboards, I don't like when they're rusty. It just makes the scrap look like crap, right? Here's that, remember that boat motor I got? This was the lead on it. Well, it's actually really crappy stuff. The insulation is kind of like really old. It's coming off, but you can tell it was like over. Just too old. The material was eating into the copper. So that's a nice little copper there. That's the one lead. It's off the boat motor. Well, it's got some weight. Here's the other lead. See how it's, well, salt water, right? See how the water went up the wire? That's why what it is, salt water. I guess over time the material itself, you know, gives away, and then what happens is the boat loses its conductivity on these copper, and then this thing, see, loses conductivity, and if something doesn't start, then you think the motor is no good, but oh, it's actually just salt water problems. I knew this would be a problem, this thing, but anyways, I thought it would go through, but it did go through, but didn't cut beyond this thing. It's just almost out. There it is. See, I cut that off. It's definitely not bad, right? This one kind of went crappy. Went like halfway or something. I'll run these through again. We'll go. It's just nice to have one pass, right? Different kind of wire, this one. It's more of a... doesn't fray as much. Well, it frays a bit, but it's just... it's not falling apart as much. So it's Good Friday here. I don't know, holidays everywhere are the same, but I guess most countries will have Good Friday, I believe. It's a holiday, and then Easter Sunday, and then some companies take holiday Monday too off, but I might be stuck working doing a demo on another house. It's a kitchen demo. It's plastic drywall, so it's a little different. Process. It's like a thin 3/8 drywall strips, and about 3 feet long, and there's put it up to 1/4 inches plaster over it. I call it plaster drywall. It's done in pre-1970 usually, maybe around 65, something like that. 1965 to about 1950 maybe, something like that. 50, 55. They replaced the lath and plaster. They used to use the wood sticks, and then they went from wood sticks to strips of drywall, then plaster, then it went to clean drywall after that. Around 65, they started doing drywall a lot. Yeah, these gloves are awesome, actually. I had one prick in my finger, and that was kind of expecting because of the way I was picking the stuff up, but usually I would have had about 4 or 5 already. Gloves are working awesome. Happy with that. Okay, I'm going to finish this up here and then finish this wire here. This wire should go really good. It's a nice wire. That would be bright and shiny. It'll have to be separated. Now it's got some, getting some weights. Perfect. Okay, so let me continue here a little more. Okay. Okay, so this wire left only. This one's right here. It's all copper here. seems pretty heavy, so just gonna strip this here. I still have a small pail in my house at storage yard, which may strip also. Not today, but eventually. Okay. Okay, now I'm gonna work on number 1, bright and shiny. Got some 12 gauge in here too, which is nice. This stuff goes in really nice, so any solid strand wire, super nice to strip. I don't normally strip this 12 gauge or 14 gauge, but I had a small amount. But if I do like a big demo job and I got hundreds of pounds, to be honest, it's not really worth stripping. Just the percentage is too small because they're paying so high. That's the problem. If they weren't paying high, then it'd be worth stripping. But you know, for me to strip 100 pounds and make, you know, 20 bucks for 5 hours, it's not worth it, right? 4 or 5 hours. But if I'm stripping, you know, 100 pounds in, you know, like 10 minutes and making 20, 30 bucks, then, you know, it's worth it, right? You get those really big, long cables, industrial cables that are super thick. And, you know, it's a pound a foot, right? So 100 feet is 100 pounds. You know, it's real thick stuff. Basically, that's exactly what it is, a pound per foot. You know, I can strip it basically, you know, well, it's best to put like, you know, put lengths like this on. You put too much lengths, too much drag. This is running a 110. So being 110 is going to drag too much. If it was 220, you know, wouldn't be bogging out like that. Yeah, this cable here I had to go through. It was just kind of like, kind of sticking to the copper. Here's some different stuff here. See, number 12 gauge, look at the difference, how beautiful it is. Thick, it's heavy, it's hard to bend. It's a pleasure to strip it. These come off the stoves. So I put them separate. But it's hard to say what to do. Stockpile all this stuff or sell it, or, you know, the prices are, you know, they're talking about big price increases coming. You know, it's over 8,000 a ton, I heard. So they'll go to up another $1,000 a ton. So prices will, you know, start getting higher. See, this was the three conductor one, where, you know, it only stripped the outer layer. These ones aren't stripped. These have to be redone. Like I say, it gives you a little break, you know, you can sit down in a chair, take it easy versus, you know, standing up all day and stripping out stuff. Eventually, you know, it's hard on the legs, hard on the knees. Weather is cold, you know. This is kind of nice. The machine goes through this like real quick. You can see it's like super fast. It's actually pretty good. Once you know exactly the right settings, tune it right. Like I was watching one other guy on YouTube there, Project Shop Florida. That guy, like, he's always tuning things right. You know, he knows the machine real good, but I try to keep it set and just work different holes and use that for tuning, because, you know, otherwise you just spending too much time tuning stuff up. If it doesn't cut it, I just go one bigger, one smaller, whatever it takes, right? Just the one that has to be redone. But you gotta remember this. See all this little bit of copper? Look at all this waste. This waste is pretty heavy. That's probably like 15 pounds of waste. It's probably like, you know. So it's not, like I say, stripping it doesn't mean you're gaining, you know, a lot of money, right? I know down south like a lot of little scrap yards, you pay very little. They probably sell to the bigger yards, so they're actually doubling their money off you, right? I'm dealing with a big yard. Well, the big yard is basically the last guy, right? Going to the refinery after. That's why they pay so high. But you have all these little scrap yards in the States. You know, they're buying copper, like say insulated wire like this for $1 a pound. Meanwhile, I was getting $2.32 a pound. Well, why would, you know, if you're getting $1 a pound, you have to strip it, obviously. But when you get $2.32 a pound, there's no point in stripping it because, you know, it's only like a small percentage I'm getting. Maybe 15% more. Or say on 100 pounds, I'm only making $25, right? Depending what the price is. So it's up to you. Use your own judgment, right? You have to know what the scrap yard's paying, what the percentage of wire is, how much time it's going to take you. If you got a wire stripper and you get nothing better to do, strip it all, right? But like I say, you know, if you're spending all day stripping wire, you could be driving down the street picking up appliances, right? So there's options there. You don't want to spend hours just because you're trying to make 20 bucks when you could drive down the street and make $100. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of the point of it. It's funny, I had one that was aluminum. I knew I had aluminum wire in here somewhere, but I couldn't tell, but it's aluminum. Ran right through there. Wouldn't even know it was aluminum. So this one's got to be redone. And there were some other... Oh yeah, this is like crap wire. See, I couldn't tell when I looked at it. It's just got multi-strands inside. It was like it's got 2 or 3 wires inside. Not worth stripping, to be honest. But you know, like it just gives me something better to do. Something a little different. And like I said, I paid a fair amount of money for this machine, right? So I want to get some money back for my investment, right? Even though, you know, if I'm only making 30, 40 bucks, still some money come back. Because a machine like this, you know, if you don't get big wire, it's hard to pay for the investment, right? This like 14 gauge house wire, just forget it. You have to cut it, you know. If you have like big rolls, like a roll like this, and I can cut that roll in like say 10 minutes, completely stripped, right? Which you probably could because it just, I get 100 feet a minute on this thing, so, you know, say 5-10 minutes. It's stripped and put into a container, right? All this is, the machine didn't goof up. It's just, like I say, it's Romex, right? If you know Romex, it's got 2 or 3 conductors. But generally, it stripped everything really good. I'm very happy. Machine performed good. I had no jams today because I was a little cautious. I didn't, you know, when you're a little cautious on your machine. You know, and I put the color code there, which color code really helps a lot because it all makes a difference. Is one setting off completely wrecks your wire up. See, look at this here. This is just like a low grade wire basically, but stripped it. But burnt looking. So what do you guys think? Hold on to copper? Prices are saying going to go up, but you know, who knows, right? Nothing's guaranteed in this world, right? All you need some big conflict somewhere, some disaster or something, and all of a sudden well, just like when the banks are going bankrupt down in the States, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mae, whatever all these names what they were, that killed our economy. I didn't have even a phone call for 2 months. It was dead, right? So stuff like that, if that happens, you know, it could drop real fast, right? And say you have a war somewhere in, say Asia, for instance. Not that there's going to be a war. It's just in general, right? And they're the main buyers of this material. If they're at a conflict, they're not going to be buying. They're going to be worried about protecting themselves and everything else to go with it. So this will say, don't. It's not guaranteed. Your money's not guaranteed. This be stripped. Like I say, it's just a fun It's a fun little thing, you know, strip a little bit of wire. I've always wanted a wire stripper, you know, and to finally I said, hey, I'm buying one. Told the wife I'm buying it, and that's it. That's what I, you know, what I need and what I want. And I kind of researched for the price, and I thought this was probably the best deal for price. And that's what I did. I brought it. See, this stuff strips too, huh? Crappy wire. Pretty good. So if you do buy a wire strip, just do some research here, because there's some machines, some are better than others, right? It's actually stripped, I couldn't even tell. It's just hard to see. It's real frosty. It's got 2 layers of plastic. Do your research on, you know, look at stuff. I noticed, I was watching Taco Stacks on the YouTube, and he brought a wire stripper for 150 US, but I noticed, you know, the motor seemed a little weak. You had to kind of push the wires through. And he even made a comment about that. So, you know, you may have the same looking machine, but it doesn't have the horsepower of the motor. So that's kind of important thing. Just because it looks identical to everything on YouTube or everything on the internet, got to see what the ratings are on the motor. That's where, you know, the torque, right? Does it look like any other machine, but I'm just, my suspicion is the motor's not that powerful. Lacking the horsepower, if you know what I mean. That's why this one's lacking. You know, it jams up, but you put on 220, it's not going to jam up. You know, but I specified a 110, right? So I guess they wired it for 110, but they come in also 220. So it's like just, you know, sitting here and kind of biding time and pulling wires and doing things. It's funny, last day I seen 4 wire stripping videos. Like, I decided to wire strip, you know, a couple days ago, so I figured I might as well get rid of this. So I saw Taco Stacks had one, Thub had one, I think he's in Alberta. He had a wire stripping video, Taco Stacks, and Project, what is it, Project, I don't know, what the hell was it? Project Yard or something. FL or something. But anyways, like I say, it's just, you know, when the prices are high, I mean, I'm seeing money sitting here, and it's not really making me no money. It's, I mean, it's like a stock market. Prices are high, you sell high, right? So if I sell this for a year, it may go down to like $2 a pound, right? No one knows. So the price of being high, I kind of like to have at least stripped and sitting on demand. If I hear something about copper taking a big drop, then I can at least, as it's going down, I can sell it. Just like I did last year when the pandemic was a problem. You know, the metals were dropping like crazy, and we're like, holy smokes, how low is it going to go? Because I seen copper go down to like 60 cents a pound, 60 for brass, 80 for copper, and it was like $4, $3.50, $4, and the price dropped that fast. So it dropped like in a month. People lost millions of dollars just overnight. It hit everybody that hard. So I kind of said, hey, you know, I got all this copper sitting, I'm just going to sell it. And as I was selling it, the price was dropping. The guy says, we're changing the prices in about 10 minutes. If you get it now, you're at the old price. It dropped like 30 or 40 cents, just like that. Within the hour. It's ridiculous. Like I say, it's supply and demand. Till the demand is there. And you know, the demand's always going to be kind of there, because sure, they have mines around the world, but as a lot of these countries get more regulated for, you know, pollution and all that, they can't operate like they are, you know, with all the different regulations. They have to tighten up on pollution control, right? And eventually they can't operate anymore, and they get shut down. So it's kind of happened, right? So like I say, I would just, if you got copper and you need the money, I think it's a good time to sell. But it's up to you guys, if you need the money or not. There's guys out there probably got tons and tons of copper they're sitting on, but to them it's not the right time. But you know, you can't get too greedy, right? Get too greedy, you can miss the boat. It could take a few years. Because I know copper was really high before, but it took a lot of years to come back. And when it was really high, it took like at least 3 years to really get back. And I'm surprised just how it rebounded so fast. This within a year, I mean, it went from basically $2 to like $4.50. Within not even maybe like in about 5 months, 6 months. So, anyways, the demand is there, which is good. Everything's stripped nice, no problem. Even the crappy wire I had laying around has some crappy wire. All stripped pretty good. If I adjust this a little bit better, this will strip the insulation off, but I have it adjusted in a way where all the holes works with all the different wires. If I make it a little tighter, you know, I would lose my setting a little bit on other things, but it seems to be okay. Even with these gloves, are a little bit harder to work with, but it still works pretty good. So anyways, like I say, I'm working on getting my yard cleaned. I kind of like to get a container, not here, well, I actually like to get a container here where I can process, like make a little more noise here because I live here versus, you know, making noise over there that much. I can't be cutting all day. Like I'll make a little bit of noise, but I have to limit myself. So I do have renters there and stuff, and I have neighbors and all that. So, you know, it's a residential area, so I have to be careful. So I just gotta keep my noise down, and just maybe and I don't work too late. You know, I have to keep, you know, keep everything clean. I always keep my yard clean and stuff. I don't keep any garbage there. You know, it's mostly just scrap. I mean, I'm constantly dumping garbage. Even the other day, I took quite a bit of garbage from there. Had stuff kicking around, and you know, I see guys on YouTube that gets just so much garbage on their property. They don't do nothing about it. The problem is, time comes and you have to get rid of that garbage fast. It costs you a fortune to get rid of it. But if you're always on top of your garbage, you know, if you're dumping, even just dumping a little bit in your garbage cans every time, at least you're getting rid of your garbage in general. Versus, I mean, you know, like I keep the plastic out of my bin as much as possible. If I strip something as plastic, I'll try to recycle some of it. Some I can, some I can't, right? So I'll do that. So I always make sure I have, you know, one or two bins every week that I dump on purpose. And this way I'm always on top of everything. Let's get in there. I still have all this stuff to redo again. I had lots of this type of stuff here. Like I say, that's the fun part is, right? Getting in there and recycling, and the more we can recycle and keep out landfills, the better for the environment. Keeps the landfills lasting longer, right? If you keep dumping everything in landfills, they're going to fill up pretty fast. We're limited here on how much landfill we have. That's why you can't throw drywall in the landfill here. Plus, it's supposed to mix with the land. Dad? 1 second, what? Can
you show me how to check my tire pressure really quick?
Okay, 1 second, yeah. You gonna ride tonight?
Yeah, with Bradley.
This late?
Yeah, me and Bradley are gonna go.
Okay, well, you heard your daughter. She's good riding her Kawasaki, right? Yeah. What kind of bike you got? Ninja 300, brought and paid by her. Okay, I have to check her tire pressure because bike's been sitting for a while. Okay, we'll get back to you. Okay, we got the her bike here. She says 42 pounds pressure. Okay.
Might be easier to go from the other side.
You say you don't know how to do this, so you tell me how to do it? What's that say there?
30, not even. I need to pump them up real quick.
Got more than 30.
No, it's like 30 something.
Okay, 1 second. You sure it's 42?
It's like 42 PSI. I just searched it on my phone.
Okay, look at it now. It looks pretty high.
It's not even...
Where's 40?
Up here.
Yeah, right. Okay, I don't know. I can't see nothing. Sorry, let's get your light on.
Let me go get my phone.
Yeah, I don't think she's... I think it's just over 30. What? Anyways, that's her bike. It's a pretty good looking bike, actually. She wants to sell it, but I told her don't sell it. She's a brand new bike. Why would you sell it? She wants something bigger. That's pretty cool. Okay, well, we're gonna check her air pressure. Hopefully it's pretty close. Okay, let's get back to what we're doing. Okay, I think that's pretty well it. You all should be on number one, all the stuff here. You know, like a double coating makes sometimes doesn't get both sides. I'm just gonna finish this up because it's really slippery. So my gloves are kind of having problems. So I'm gonna show you what I have. I don't have a scale handy, but at least you can see it all. Okay, stand by it. I got some cheap labor here, right there. Cheap labor. Come here. Pull some wire for me. Pull some wire. That cat, I'll tell you, he'll sleep like a baby. You can't wake him up. Then when he gets his energy, he'll jump on top of the highest shelf anywhere. So all he wants to do is jump high. He'll hug columns in the house and everything. The cat's crazy. Some sort of Siamese cat. He's got blue eyes and not a standard looking cat. I'm not sure. Some sort of purebred, but the relative had it, but the landlord didn't want the cat, so she had to give it up. Right, little baby? Can you say hi to all my people, my fans? Can you say please subscribe? Can you say that? Please subscribe? Okay, you heard that. Please subscribe, right? Kitty, kitty, kitty. My baby. Okay, I'm doing work here. You're slowing me down. Right, kitty? You're slowing me down. Say hi to everybody. Say hi. Come on. Are you going to say hi to everybody? Don't be camera shy. And when he's outside in the sun, his eyes are squinting. It's really funny, like he's blind. He's almost like an albino, I guess, or something. Hey, buddy. Hey. And he's a big cat. He's not small. He's a big cat. He's all muscle. Oh, look at this. I'm losing quality control here. But he's a big cat. If you look at him, he's big. He's heavy. Okay, let me finish my work. You let me finish your work? Hey, baby. Hey, Razzie. Your name is Razzie, right? Okay, let me finish. Okay, finish stripping the wire there. I cleaned most of the floor, but like, you know, when you turn around, you see the odd little thing. Might be from the cat. I dragged a few things, I guess. But as you can see, there's a lot of waste involved. So it's like one third was garbage automatically. At least one, yeah, I see 1/3, yeah. So basically, this is our number 2. Our number 1. This one's a little burnt, probably a little there. Waste, number 2, number 1. So machine was actually working pretty good. It was a little squeaky there for a while, but kind of what it is. I've taken it apart and investigated a little bit to see exactly what it is. It's squeaking at this corner here. Something squeaks here, so I'm gonna figure it out. Anyways, I hope you like this little video on stripping wire. It needs to be done anyways, so got that done. So anyways, don't forget to subscribe, share, like, as always. Have a great day. Thanks for watching.